email last night from a follower who refused to give his name. He said the story he's about to share ruined hiking for him forever, and that he still doesn't know which version of himself made it out. This happened last October, somewhere deep in the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to read his message exactly as he wrote it. I'm writing this because I don't know who else would believe me. It's been 3 weeks since I got back from that trail, and I still wake up expecting to see trees outside my window instead of houses. Sometimes I swear I can smell pine needles when I open my closet. This all started on October 14th, the first morning of a 3-day solo hike I'd planned for months. I'd been stressed, burnt out, and the woods were the only place that ever reset my brain. I picked a route in the Pacific Northwest, far from the popular loops, old logging paths, riverside stretches, and ridge trails with views that only reward people willing to walk for hours. The air was cold enough to bite, and the leaves were turning copper and deep red. Everything smelled like wet bark and morning frost. It should have been perfect. At the trailhead, like always, there was a trail register inside a wooden box nailed to a post. I signed my name, the date, and wrote, 3-day loop, returning Sunday. I flipped through a few older pages, something I do to see whether the trail is busy. That's when I froze. About 10 pages in, written in handwriting that looked exactly like mine, was an entry dated 3 days in the future. October 17th, 5:42 p.m. Finished the loop. Tired but good. Don't go past the boundary line. If you hear knocking, answer it. If you don't hear knocking, run. I remember reading that line 3 times, my fingers going cold even though I had gloves on. It wasn't similar to my handwriting. It was my handwriting, same slant, same dotted I, same weird way I crossed my T's slightly too long. My first thought was someone was screwing with me, maybe a ranger with a dark sense of humor. But trail registers don't really attract pranksters. And the page wasn't old, it was crisp, untouched by rain. I looked around the empty trailhead, expecting someone to be hiding behind a truck or a tree, laughing. But the lot was empty, silent. The woods beyond the sign looked calm. I should have turned around right then. I should have gotten back in my car. But curiosity is poison, and I stepped forward. The first few miles were exactly how I remembered them. Soft dirt, ferns brushing my legs, the sharp scent of cedar whenever the breeze shifted. The sun filtered through the branches like gold dust, and for a moment, I convinced myself the whole thing at the trailhead didn't matter. Just a weird coincidence, a joke, a glitch in my brain. But by the time I reached the ridge overlook, something small and sharp had settled behind my ribs, a pressure, a watcher. The wind was different up there, colder, almost metallic, carrying a smell like wet pennies. That's when I heard it. Knock. A single hollow tap somewhere behind me. I turned. Nothing. Then, knock, knock, 2 more taps, measured and deliberate. Not like a woodpecker, not like branches moving. This sounded like knuckles. I tried to laugh it off, told myself I was being dramatic, but the tapping followed me. On the switchbacks down toward South Meadow, it came again. 3 slow knocks spaced perfectly apart, like someone keeping time. Every time I stopped, the forest stopped too. Every time I breathed, I swear it breathed with me. I kept walking until I reached a narrow part of the trail, one that dipped into thick timber where the sun barely reached. That's when I saw it. A rope, strung loosely between 2 old cedar trees. The kind of rope you'd see on a ranch fence, weathered, gray, Old survey tape fluttered from it like faded scars. Orange turned pale pink. And in the middle, nailed to the trunk, was a wooden plank. Letters burned into it with something hot. Boundary. No sign it was official. No Forest Service markings. Just that one word. I stopped, waiting for the forest to tell me whether I was allowed to move. That's when it hit me. This was the boundary the future me warned about in the journal. Don't go past the boundary line. My pulse crawled up my throat. I should have turned around. I knew I should have. But something about that rope felt less like a warning and more like a dare. I stepped over it, and the forest exhaled. Everything changed at once. The air felt heavier, almost warm. The trees leaned inward like they'd been waiting for me, and the knocking followed me across the line, but now it sounded closer. Lower, more deliberate. Knock, knock, knock. I walked faster than I should have, forcing my legs not to sprint. And every time I turned back, I swore the rope behind me looked farther away, smaller, swallowed by the trees. That's when I noticed the trail. It wasn't looping. It was repeating. The same crooked tree, the same broken branch I'd stepped over minutes ago, the same pattern of fallen leaves. I stopped. My breath misted in the air. And the third time I saw that same mossy boulder, I realized this wasn't a trail anymore. It was a trap. The moment I realized I was looping, a coldness spread through me that had nothing to do with the weather. I stopped in front of that mossy boulder, the one shaped like a hunched animal, and I knew that I had passed it 3 times already. Same notch. Same patch of lichen that looked like a green handprint. The trail wasn't curving. It was repeating. I turned in a slow circle, trying to make sense of it, but the trees looked identical in every direction. Tall, choked with old bark, leaning inward like elbows around a secret. I needed to be sure, so I picked a tree, a huge hemlock with thick furred bark and roots that looked like twisted ropes. I carved a diagonal slash into it, just a little mark with my knife. Nothing dramatic. Just enough that I'd recognize it again. Then I walked, deliberately, in a straight line, counting my steps. 50, 100, 200. Branches snapped underfoot. Somewhere behind me, something followed the rhythm of my footsteps, taking a step when I took a step, stopping when I stopped. At step 233, I felt the forest stop breathing. I looked up. The marked tree was right in front of me. Same slash, same angle. Same little curl of bark lifted at the corner like a peeled sticker. My stomach dropped. "No," I whispered, backing away. "No, no, no." Then something happened that made my teeth hurt. From behind me, only a few yards away, I heard my own voice, my exact voice, say, "No, no, no, no." I spun so fast I nearly fell. Nobody there. Just trees. Trees in silence and the faint echo of myself dying in the air. I forced my breathing quiet, listening. The forest listened back. A soft rustle. A footstep came from somewhere to my left. Too heavy to be a squirrel, too slow to be a deer. When I turned my head, something moved just out of view. A shadow slipping behind a trunk. I felt watched. Not by an animal, not by a person, by the woods. I took a few steps backward, and behind me, something mimicked them. The exact cadence, exact timing, like an echo with legs. My heartbeat stuttered. Every instinct screamed to run. But where? Running in a loop is just running in a cage. I needed proof I wasn't imagining things. So I carved another mark into a different tree. A long, deep slash, then another, and another. 5 trees in total. Then I walked for 10 minutes, feeling that same presence tailing me. Quiet when I was quiet. matching me when I moved. When I turned a corner into a narrow corridor of cedar trunks, my throat tightened. All 5 trees stood there, clustered together, in the same order I'd carved them. It was impossible. Completely impossible. I stepped closer, touching the bark. They were real. Cold, damp, old. And then, from behind one of the trees came a sound that didn't belong in any forest. A soft, steady tapping. Knock, knock, knock. It felt like someone was on the other side of the tree, listening, waiting for me to answer. My breath left me in a white cloud. I took one step back. The tapping stopped. Then, from directly behind my left ear, a whisper. "Hey," my own voice. I ran. I don't know how long I ran. My lungs felt shredded. My knees shook, and the forest became a smear of brown and green rushing past me. Branches slapped my face. My pack kept sliding sideways, and the air tasted like rust. When I finally stopped, bent over with my hands on my knees, everything was silent. Too silent. The kind of silence that feels staged. I didn't know where I was. The trail was gone. The rope line was nowhere. All the landmarks I relied on had vanished. Behind me, something moved, soft but deliberate. I whipped around. Nothing. Just trees leaning inward like they were listening. I forced myself to breathe and scan the forest floor for any sign of where the actual trail might be. That's when I noticed something half buried between a cluster of cedar roots. A green metal tin, about the size of a lunchbox. Old, rusted, in patches, like it had been waiting there a very long time. My skin prickled. I didn't want to touch it, but curiosity is stronger than survival, and fear is strongest when you don't understand. So I knelt and brushed the dirt away. The lid wasn't locked. It squeaked when I lifted it, loud in the dead silence. Inside was a notebook, a cheap dot grid trail register book, just like the one at the trailhead, except this one was swollen with water damage, dog-eared, and filled with writing. I flipped it open. My heart started hammering so hard I felt it in my ears. The handwriting inside was mine. Dozens of entries, page after page, my name, my signature, my handwriting, the same blocky tight print I'd used since middle school. But the dates were wrong. October 14th, morning October 14th, later October 15th, before October 16th, October 14th again. Something. I can't tell anymore. Some entries were neat, some were frantic. Some were scratched so deep the pen tore the page, and one line near the top made my blood run cold. If you're reading this version, it already knows your route. My throat went dry. Another entry. Don't mark the trees. It remembers the shapes. It copies you. Then, one that looked fresh enough that the ink hadn't fully dried. If you hear the knocking, answer it. If you don't hear anything, run. My hands began trembling. I flipped pages faster. Another, I saw him today. At first, I thought it was a person. Then I thought it was a reflection. Now I think it's a version. And then, he speaks with your voice first. Don't trust the one who speaks first. A chill went through me so violently, I nearly dropped the book. Something snapped behind me. A heavy footstep. I turned and saw a figure, far away. Maybe 30 yards back, too still, too tall, too familiar. My chest tightened, my breath stopped. My brain refused to process it. The figure was wearing my jacket, my backpack, my posture. I blinked, and it stepped behind a tree in a single smooth motion. My heart hit my ribs like a hammer. No, I whispered to myself. That's not possible. That's not... But before I could finish, the forest answered. From the direction of the figure, in a perfect imitation of my own voice, came a whisper. "Hey!" Exactly the same tone as earlier. Exactly the same way I had said it. My blood went cold. This thing wasn't following me. It was mirroring me, copying, learning, practicing. I backed away slowly, clutching the tin box like it was a shield. My footsteps were soft, deliberate. Behind one of the trees, something tried to match my footsteps. It wasn't perfect this time. It dragged one step too long, like it was still learning how. My whole body screamed to run. So I did. I don't remember running. I only remember stopping. At some point, the forest thinned just enough that I stumbled into a shallow ravine, a channel carved by decades of rain and runoff. Water trickled through the leaves, whispering over stones in a way that almost sounded like words. My chest burned, my legs shook, and I felt watched. Watched from above. Watched from below. Watched from inside my own thoughts. I forced myself forward, gripping the first tin register like it might anchor me to reality. The ravine sloped upward into denser woods, the kind where sunlight breaks apart into dust before it reaches the ground. Halfway up that slope, I saw it. Another box, not camouflage, not hidden in roots. This one sat proudly on a cut stump, perfectly centered, like something had placed it there carefully. A rectangular metal box, cleaner, newer, brass latch shining faintly even in the dark. It looked expectant. My mind whispered, "Don't open it. You don't need to open it. Walk away now." But some deeper part of me, the part that needed explanations more than safety, moved my legs forward before I could stop myself. I knelt, hands shaking, and lifted the lid. Inside was another notebook. This one, newer, the pages crisp and white, as if placed recently. On the inside cover was a message written in thick black marker, scrawled so violently that the cardboard had almost torn. "If you made it here, you didn't listen. If you made it here, you're already behind." I swallowed hard and turned the page. It was my handwriting again, but different, panicked, rushed, looping letters like someone writing in the dark, or writing while being watched. October 14th, morning. October 15th, I think. It's hard to tell. October 15th, again. He followed me for hours, didn't blink. Another entry. It isn't a loop, it's a braid. You can cross into different strands without noticing. Then, stop marking the trees. He remembers the shapes. Then, written in letters so faint, I had to tilt the book to catch them. When he gets close enough, he uses your voice. When he gets closer, he uses your thoughts. My breath caught. "What is happening?" I whispered to no one. The next page had only 3 words, scribbled in the middle like someone wrote them in a hurry. "He sets traps." And below that, "Your campsite isn't yours." Before I could process it, a snap echoed to my right. A twig, a footstep. I froze. Slowly, terrifyingly slowly, I turned my head. On the slope above me, near a cluster of trees, was a tent, a fully assembled tent. My tent. Same model, same forest green color, same tiny piece of tape I'd used to patch a rip near the door. Next to it was my sleeping bag, already unrolled, my stove, set neatly on a flat rock, my backpack, unzipped, organized carefully, almost lovingly, like someone, or something, had been expecting me, setting up camp for me, preparing. I felt my knees weaken, my mouth dried. I hadn't set up camp. I hadn't stopped long enough to even think about it, and yet, there it was. My entire campsite, arranged exactly the way I would arrange it, down to the way I angle my boots by the tent door. A chill licked up my spine. I took one step backward. Behind me, something mirrored that step, but half a second late. too slow to be natural, too deliberate to be an accident. I turned, heart hammering. And from the trees, in a perfect copy of my own voice, someone whispered, "You're late." The air around the campsite felt wrong. Not cold, not hot, just wrong. Like stepping into a room where something terrible had just happened, and even the walls were holding their breath. I stared at the tent, my tent, trying to convince myself this was a coincidence. Some hiker with the exact same gear, same habits, same organization. But no one organizes gear the same way as you do down to the smallest detail. The boots by the flap were angled precisely how I placed mine. The sleeping bag zipper was on the left, exactly how I sleep. My stove was sitting on a flat rock with a tiny chip in the corner. This wasn't coincidence. It was mimicry, a trap. I took another step backward, and once again, something behind me mirrored the movement, a beat too late. Step, step. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Instead, I forced myself to look at the tent. The zipper, silent only a moment before, began to move. Slow, smooth. Like someone was opening it from the inside. I felt a scream crawl up my throat, but it wouldn't come out. My jaw locked. The zipper stopped halfway. The flap fell open. Inside the tent, I saw shapes. Dark, human-sized, curled like someone lying down. But the shadows were wrong. They weren't moving with the breeze. They weren't moving at all. They were waiting. My mind screamed, "Don't go closer. Don't look. Don't check." But my feet slid forward on their own. One step, crunch of leaves. 2 steps. My breath, quick and shallow. The shadows inside the tent shifted. Barely, but enough that I saw there were 2 of them. 2 silhouettes, both shaped like me, both lying still. I stumbled back in horror, slamming into a tree. Behind the tree, from only inches away, something exhaled. A warm, human breath brushed the back of my neck. I froze. Then, in my exact voice, only slightly quieter, someone behind me whispered, "Don't wake them." My heart tried to tear its way out of my chest. I whipped around. No one. But the breath was still there, right in front of my face. Then, from the tent, something began to rise. Slowly, deliberately. One of the silhouettes inside sat up, shoulders first, then its head, then the rest. Its posture matched mine exactly, down to the way I tilt my head slightly when confused. It turned, and inside that dark tent, in silhouette only, it faced me. And then, knock. A single tap from behind me. I spun again. Knock. A second tap. Closer. My blood ran cold. The forest was suddenly, impossibly silent. Everything waited for the third knock. Even the air. Don't answer unless you hear the 3. That warning flashed through my mind. Then, nothing. No third knock. Which meant this wasn't a question, this was a lure. A noise meant to draw me in. A signal meant to make me react. I clamped my mouth shut so tightly my teeth hurt. Behind me, something stood up. I didn't hear footsteps. I felt the movement in the air. Branches overhead shifted, leaves trembled. The silence deepened. The silhouette in the tent leaned forward slightly, head cocked, waiting, listening. Then, in a low, distorted version of my voice, it said, "Answer me." I didn't breathe, didn't blink. I backed away, inch by inch. Leaves crunched under my heel. And instantly the voice behind me mimicked it. Crunch, crunch. As if mocking my footsteps, learning them. I forced my legs to move faster. That was a mistake. Because the moment I turned, the thing behind the tree moved too. Not walking, not running, shifting. Like it folded into a new position without crossing the space between. 1 second, nothing was there. The next, A tall silhouette stood beside a tree 10 feet closer. Another blink, and it was 5 feet away. And then, inches, close enough that I felt its breath again. I bolted. Branches whipped my arms. Roots grabbed at my feet. Behind me, something huge followed without any sound at all. Not footsteps, not running, just presence, and the tearing certainty that it was smiling as it chased me. I don't remember choosing a direction. I just ran. Branches clawed my face, roots lurched up like hands trying to trip me, and the underbrush whipped my legs until they stung. The forest felt alive, breathing, tightening, rearranging itself behind me. But what terrified me most was the sound, or rather, the lack of it. The thing chasing me made no noise at all, not even the whisper of disturbed leaves, not the crack of a twig, not the crunch of soil. It moved like a shadow, or an idea, or something that didn't quite follow the rules of bodies. My lungs burned. My pack slammed against my spine. My throat tasted like blood. Every few seconds, I risked a glance over my shoulder, and each time I did, I saw nothing. But I felt it. A pressure at my back, like a hand hovering over my skin, but never touching. Something tracking my pulse. I didn't know where I was. I had long passed the point where the trail should have been. The ground dipped and rose in places that didn't match the map. Trees leaned over me like an archway. Then, somewhere to my right, knock. I froze mid-stride, skidding in the dirt. The knock echoed through the silent trees like a dropped stone hitting an empty well. Then, knock. A second tap, closer. My breath clouded in front of me in long, panicked streams. The third knock never came. Again. It left the pattern unfinished. A decoy. A trap. My hands shook violently. I backed away slowly, eyes scanning every tree trunk. I remembered the rules written in my own handwriting. If you hear 3 knocks, answer. If you hear 2, run. So I ran, faster than before. Behind me, something imitated my footsteps, slightly offbeat, like a drum that didn't understand rhythm. Crunch, 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 crunch. Too many steps for one being. Too heavy. Too wrong. My heart hammered so loud I could barely hear anything else. The woods around me grew darker even though the sun hadn't set. Colors leached from the world. Greens turning black. Browns turning gray. Then I tripped. Hard. I slammed into the earth, my palms scraping against rocks and pine needles. My teeth clacked together and I tasted blood. My backpack twisted, pinning me to the ground. And behind me, something stopped too. Not with surprise, not with concern, more like anticipation. I didn't look back, couldn't. Instead, I crawled forward, half dragging, half clawing through damp leaves, trying to get upright. The forest around me shifted, subtle but undeniable. The trees weren't where they had been minutes before. Fallen logs had moved. A boulder I didn't remember passing now sat to my left. The woods were rearranging themselves. And then, ahead of me, through the thick maze of trunks, I saw something impossible. A small clearing, perfectly circular, moonlit even though the sky above was still bright. At the center, a third trail register box. This one was made of dark wood, old, possibly ancient. A carved emblem on the front, something like an eye surrounded by rings. The sight of it filled me with a hatred so sudden and intense it almost wasn't my own. My head spun. My stomach churned. I staggered to my feet, forcing myself closer. As I approached, the air grew warmer, thick with a smell like wet books and old smoke. The box seemed to hum faintly, vibrating with something alive. I lifted the lid with shaking fingers. Inside was a single page, and on that page was my handwriting, but not panicked this time. Calm, measured, resigned. If you find this register, you're almost done. Not with the trail, with the versions. My heartbeat stuttered. There aren't just two of you. There never were. The forest takes fragments. It folds them. It uses them. My eyes blurred. One version always makes it to the clearing. One version always dies in the ravine. One version wanders until he forgets his name. I swallowed, choking back a sob. If you want to leave, you need to find the one who answers. A rustling sound came from behind me. Sharp, deliberate. I turned slowly, and through the trees, half lit by the fading daylight, I saw a figure. Wearing my jacket, carrying my pack, standing with my posture, but its head tilted too far to the side, like it had never quite learned how to be human. It watched me with stillness so complete it felt ancient. Then, in a soft, perfect imitation of my voice, it whispered, "Is that your register? Or mine?" The figure stood perfectly still, too still, not like a person hesitating or someone afraid to step forward, more like a creature that had learned to stand human and was waiting for the moment it needed to imitate movement. Its face was hidden in shadow, but I could see the shape of its jaw, the slope of its cheek, the slight dip in the chin. It was my face, not similar, not close, mine, like looking into a mirror from 30 feet away. I took one step backward, and as faint as a whisper, the creature's head twitched. Not a smooth motion, not natural, more like a reset. It tilted back into place, then drooped slightly to the other side, testing angles, testing human shape, testing me. "Stay back," I croaked, though my voice cracked halfway through the words. The creature's head straightened painfully slow, vertebrae popping like knuckles in the stillness. And then it stepped forward, 1 foot. And then, knock. A single tap echoed through the clearing, not from the creature, not from the register, from everywhere. Around us, the forest leaned in, listening. Silence pooled at our feet like black water. The knock was waiting for an answer. My breath quickened. I remembered the rule. If you hear 3 knocks, answer. If you hear 2, run. If you hear 1, don't speak. A single knock meant, don't respond. Don't reveal yourself. Don't let it know which version you are. I kept my mouth shut. The creature copied me. It kept its mouth shut too, staring, learning. Then, knock. A second tap. My blood iced. 2 knocks. The forest was testing me. 2 knocks meant this wasn't the forest's signal. This was the entity's. 2 knocks meant lure, trap. Don't answer. Don't react. I held my breath. The creature held its breath too. Every muscle locked. Its head tilted further, neck bending in a way no human neck should bend, like someone trying to understand what silence is. Then, no third knock. But the creature took another step toward me. Twigs beneath its boot cracked, but not right. The cracks were slightly delayed, like the sound came half a second after the foot touched down. Sound following form. Form following intent. Intent following me. "Stop," I whispered before I could stop myself. The creature which whispered it back instantly. "Stop." But not in my voice. Not perfectly. The tone was almost right, but too slow, too careful, like someone repeating a phrase in a language they barely understood. The hesitation in the vowels made my skin crawl. It was imitating, not matching, trying to learn, trying to claim me. I backed away again, holding the 3rd register like a shield. The creature mirrored the motion a beat late. Step, step. Then, with eerie precision, it said, "Are you me?" My stomach flipped. I didn't respond. The creature shifted, its head rolling from one shoulder to the other, as if listening to some silent cue I couldn't hear. Then it said again, slower, Which one of us is real? The words dripped wrong. Not desperate, not confused, curious. The kind of curiosity a predator has when it has already cornered its prey. Then, from behind us, deeper in the woods, knock, knock, knock. 3 perfect knocks. My heart crashed into my ribs. 3 knocks meant one thing. The real version is being called the answering ritual. I swallowed. Hard. The creature turned its head toward the direction of the sound, twitching slightly as if receiving instructions. When it turned back to me, its face was split by something like a smile. A broken, bent version of one. It whispered, "Go ahead. Answer." My entire body began to shake. The forest waited. 3 knocks, 3 calls. My voice, my true voice, was supposed to respond. The creature leaned forward, inches from stepping into the moonlit clearing. Its face finally caught the light. And holy God, it wasn't my face. Not exactly, it was a version of my face. Stretched wrong, flattened in places, cheekbones too sharp, jaw too narrow, skin too smooth, like a wax figure left too close to a fire. A draft of me, incomplete. The forest had been copying me, but never perfectly. Every version getting closer. Closer still. Until one of them could slip into my life without anyone noticing. Behind me, the knocking sounded again. Knock, knock, knock. Demanding, insistent, calling. The creature leaned even closer, its smile widening, splitting. Its neck crackled as it tilted. In my imperfect voice, it whispered, "If you don't answer, I will." The trees around us held their breath. The creature waited. The forest waited. And the knocking, those 3 slow, deliberate knocks, echoed again. Knock, knock, knock. Each one sent a tremor through the clearing like the woods had bones. Something deep inside me understood. One version answers. One version is chosen. One version survives. But I didn't know which one I was. The creature took a step toward me. Its body moved wrong, fluid in places, stiff in others. Like its bones weren't hinged correctly. Like something had built a person from memory and forgotten where joints were supposed to go. I backed up until my spine hit a tree. The bark felt warm, alive. The creature leaned its head closer, neck elongating unnaturally as it whispered, "You're not my first." My breath hitched. The clearing grew colder. Shadows lengthened, gathering under the creature's feet like spilled ink. It stepped sideways, and in a blink, it stood closer, the space between us disappearing like a cut scene. I froze. The creature raised a hand shaped like mine, fingers too long, skin too smooth, knuckles placed slightly wrong, as if sketched by someone who had seen a human hand only once. It reached toward my throat. And then, from the forest behind me, a voice shouted, "Don't answer him." My blood froze. It was my voice. Exactly my voice. But terrified, desperate, alive. I spun. Standing at the edge of the clearing was me. Not a twisted version, not a stretched echo. Me. Same clothes, same pack, same dirt smudged across the knees from when I'd fallen earlier. His chest heaved with ragged breaths. His eyes were wide and terrified. He looked exactly how I felt. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. There were 2 of us. 3, counting the creature. The newly arrived version staggered forward. "Don't answer the knocks," he gasped. "It takes the one who answers." My head spun. How are you?" "No time," he screamed. "Run? We have to..." Knock, knock, knock. A fresh set of knocks rippled through the woods, this time from behind the second me. His eyes widened in horror. No, don't." Before he could finish, the creature behind me moved with impossible speed. Not running, not stepping, just appearing. One moment it was beside me, the next it was right behind him, its hand clamped over his mouth. He screamed into its palm, a perfect copy of my scream, as his legs kicked, his fingers clawing desperately at the creature's arm. But the creature didn't even flinch. It leaned in close to his ear and whispered something I couldn't hear, something that made his body stiffen, then go limp. The creature held him like a puppet with cut strings. I watched in horror as his body, my body, began to twist. Not snapping, not breaking, twisting, like wet clay being reshaped. His face blurred into something featureless. His clothes melted into shadow. His hands stretched like wax. And then, the other me was gone. Absorbed, consumed, recycled. The creature turned back toward me. And now, its face looked a little more like mine. Closer, sharper, more accurate. Like it had improved. Like it had learned. It took one slow step forward, its voice now almost perfect. Only one version can leave. I stumbled back, heart battering my ribs. The forest whispered around me, wood groaning, leaves trembling. The creature tilted its head, smiled slightly, and whispered, "Your turn." And then the knocking came again. Knock, knock, knock. The final call, waiting for me to answer, waiting to decide which version I was. The creature stepped closer, its body shifting with a sickening fluidity, like muscle and bone were optional. The clearing pulsed with silence. 3 knocks still echoed in the trees, waiting to be answered. My mouth felt dry as ash. My heartbeat slammed so hard I thought the creature would hear it. I whispered to myself, "Don't answer. Don't answer. Don't." The creature leaned forward, expression twitching into something almost human, almost. Its lips parted, and in my near-perfect voice it said, "Hello?" A greeting as an answer. The forest reacted immediately. The temperature dropped, leaves shook as if something colossal exhaled. The shadows around the creature deepened, rising up its legs like smoke. It was claiming the ritual, claiming identity. "Don't," I gasped. "Stop." The smile widened, strained and unnatural. "Too late," it whispered in my voice. Something cracked behind it, a long, deep crack like an ancient root snapping under pressure. The air distorted around the creature, bending the light. This was it. This was how it took you. It didn't grab you. It replaced you. It stepped forward. I backed up until my shoulders hit the tree behind me. The knocking resumed. Knock, knock, knock. This time louder, hungrier. The forest had made its choice. It wanted an answer, and the creature had given one. Now, it wanted to take me. No, it wanted to use me. I bolted sideways, shoving my shoulder against the creature's outstretched arm. My body passed it, but the contact felt wrong. Skin that wasn't skin. Heat that wasn't heat. I stumbled into the trees, branches tearing at my clothes. The creature followed without sound. No footsteps, no breath, just presence, chasing me like a shadow glued to my spine. The forest warped as I ran. Trees rearranged themselves. Paths appeared, then collapsed. Logs shifted like puppets moved by invisible hands. Every turn led me back to the same places. The ravine, the clearing, the stump with the 3rd register. But I kept running. I crashed through thorny brush and slid over wet leaves. Somewhere above me, crows shrieked, then fell silent, cut off as if the sound had been swallowed. Behind me, the creature's voice croaked, "You can't outrun yourself." I didn't look back. I sprinted until my lungs caught fire, until my legs shook, until the adrenaline felt like poison. And then I saw it, a gap, not a clearing, a tear in the forest, a place where the trees didn't line up right, where the air shimmered like heat over asphalt, A seam. I reached it and felt my body lurch sideways, like gravity had suddenly changed direction. The world tilted, the forest blurred, and then I fell, down onto a trail, a real trail, leaf-covered, flattened by actual human boots, visible in both directions. I gasped, sobbed, then forced myself upright. I was out. I was out. I didn't wait. I didn't think. I ran toward the trailhead with every ounce of strength I had left. The forest behind me stayed silent. No knocking. No footsteps. No whispers. Nothing. Just the echo of my heartbeat in my ears. When I reached the trailhead, I collapsed onto the gravel, staring at my car like it was a miracle. The sky above me was pink with dawn. I'd been running all night, hands shaking. I forced myself up the last few feet to the real trail register, the one at the trailhead. I opened the box with trembling fingers. The pages fluttered in the breeze. My name was still there. My handwriting. My signature. My date. But the warning entry, the one from the future, the one telling me not to cross the boundary, was gone. In its place, written in a sharper, cleaner version of my handwriting, were 3 new lines. October 17th, made it out. Don't look behind you. My blood went cold. I turned, slowly, and saw movement deep in the shadows between the first row of trees. A shape, still, perfect, patient, not chasing, just watching and smiling with my smile. When I reached my car, my hands were shaking so violently, I dropped the keys twice before I managed to unlock the door. I slammed it shut behind me and clicked the locks like a child hiding from a nightmare. But nightmares don't care about locks. My chest felt tight, my breath thin and shredded. I started the engine, floored the gas, and didn't slow down until the road straightened out and the trees fell behind me like a dark wall. Only then did I glance once in the rearview mirror. The forest line was still, empty, but for a split second, less than that, I thought I saw a shape between the trees, tall, still, tilted, watching me leave. I didn't look again. I made it home just before noon. My front door felt foreign beneath my hand, like returning to a house I used to live in. I locked it, then locked it again. I stood there for a full minute, forehead pressed to the wood, trying to steady my breathing. Everything was too loud. The hum of my fridge, the ticking of a clock, the passing cars outside. Normal sounds, safe sounds. But my nerves didn't believe any of it. My backpack hit the floor with a hollow thump. My clothes smelled like smoke and damp earth. My boots left a trail of dark mud across the kitchen tile. I peeled everything off, stepped into the shower, and turned the water as hot as it would go. I stayed there until my skin prickled red. But no matter how long I stood there, a feeling clung to me, like bark dust under the nails, like sap in my hair, like something breathing down my neck, something that had followed me out. I slept 12 hours. When I woke the next morning, I told myself I would forget that it was trauma, stress, a hallucination triggered by dehydration or panic. I tried to live normally. I made coffee. I checked my email. I sorted laundry. But my house was wrong. Not visibly, not obviously, just wrong. The smell hit me first. Faint, but unmistakable. Pine, cold earth, rotting leaves, forest air inside my living room. I walked from room to room, sniffing like an animal, trying to find where it came from. It felt strongest near the hallway closet. I opened it. Boots, coats, boxes of old holiday junk, nothing unusual. But the smell was sharpest right there. I shut the door quickly and stepped away. Around noon, I noticed something else. On my kitchen table was a piece of paper, a torn square from a notebook. I hadn't put it there. My heart punched my ribs. The handwriting was mine, perfectly mine. But the lines were ones I had never written. You didn't listen. You answered wrong. My stomach dropped. More lines. The forest doesn't end at the trail. It ends when it chooses. I swallowed hard, nausea twisting my gut. On the bottom of the page, written in a slow, careful hand, like someone learning as they went, was one final line. One of us is still out there. My mouth went dry. I instinctively looked toward the window. Across the street, someone stood partially behind a telephone pole. Too still, too tall, head tilted slightly, watching me, not waving, not moving, just watching. I blinked. The figure was gone. That night, I woke at 3:11 a.m. to a sound I will never forget. A soft, deliberate, familiar rhythm. Knock, 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 coming from my closet, the hallway closet, the one that smelled like forest air. I lay frozen in bed, heart pounding against my ribs like it was trying to escape. The knocks repeated. 3 perfect taps. The ritual. A calling. I covered my mouth with both hands, tears burning hot down my cheeks. In the silence that followed, something on the other side of the closet door shifted, rustling, breathing, whispering. My whisper, my voice. I found the way out. The house was silent after the whisper faded, but it was the kind of silence that has weight, the kind that presses against your skin, waiting to see what you'll do. I lay in bed, sheets tangled around my legs, breath shallow, listening for anything at all. For several minutes, nothing moved. Then, from the hallway closet, shk, the sound of something sliding across wood, slowly, like fingers or nails. I clamped a hand over my mouth to stop myself from screaming. The rustling stopped. A long pause. Then, softly, "Let me in." My own voice. Perfect. Except it sounded tired, hoarse, like someone who had been running for days. My mind flashed back to the other versions, the ones who wandered, the ones who didn't make it, the ones who were taken. Maybe it was one of them. Maybe it was me. Maybe it wanted help. Or maybe that was the point. I stayed frozen for what felt like hours. My phone sat on the nightstand inches away. I didn't dare reach for it. The closet door creaked. Just an inch. Just enough for darkness to spill into the hallway. I couldn't see inside, but something inside could see me. I felt it. A gaze. Heavy. Focused. My throat tightened. Then, knock, knock, knock. Not loud, not aggressive, gentle, patient, the calling. I squeezed my eyes shut. 3 knocks means one thing. You have to answer. Not with words. With presence. With acknowledgement. I shook my head, whispering no under my breath over and over. The thing in the closet whispered back, perfectly matching the quiver in my voice. No, no, no. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Then the final whisper came, soft as dust. One of us didn't leave the forest, and the closet door slid fully closed. On its own, silence swallowed the hallway. A silence so complete it hurt my ears. I didn't move until sunrise. Morning came like nothing had happened. No knocks, no whispers, no signs the door had ever opened. I crept to the hallway, heart pounding out of rhythm, and placed my ear against the closet. Nothing. Just the faint smell of pine. The air inside was colder than the rest of the house. I stepped back. I didn't open it. I couldn't. Instead, I grabbed the note the thing had left on my kitchen table. The one claiming one version of me was still out there. I stared at it for a long time. At the handwriting, at the edges, at the pen pressure, at every impossible, terrifying detail. It was my handwriting, but cleaner, sharper, better, like it had practiced, like it had improved, like it was still improving. I wrote this all down because I don't know how much longer I can trust myself, my memories, my voice, my reflection. Some nights I hear movement in the hallway. Some nights I smell cedar when I open the fridge. Last night, I found a trail of dirt leading from the closet to my bedroom door. And today, when I checked my phone, I saw a draft email addressed to you. An email I don't remember writing. It said, "I'm sending this before he comes back. I think he knows I know what he is." And at the bottom, a single chilling line. "If you read this version, don't trust the next one."